Okay, so I have my distilled water. I use distilled water because I have very hard water where I live at. I've had issues I felt due to the type of water that I have in my area. I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drops of surfactant. Now, I learned the recipe from watching Dr. Paul's videos. He also only does, I think, about 400 to 600 milliliters of water, and he does about 6 drops of surfactant. I have a wobbly table here that if I only use 400 milliliters, my book would never get submerged. Okay, Jack, you do not need to be around that. Okay. I have this little magnetism mixer, I don't know, that I use to mix the surfactant. It makes a cool little whirlpool. And I get the water, looks like I might have overheated it a little bit, around 50 C. So I have 750 milliliters of of distilled water. So to get and this was my calcium hydroxide, to get it to a 1/4 concentration, I did 250 milliliters of the calcium hydroxide. There's going to be air bubbles underneath, and like I said, you can see this floating. I try to get all the air bubbles to come up, and then I slowly lay it down. There we go. We're all submerged. I usually let that sit for a few moments. Look to see if I got any major ink coming off. Which I don't see any. I hold the book as good as possible. Maybe a little bit of red, but that's pretty normal. I do need to get a softer brush. You've seen me do this before. I do just hit the white areas. Try to brush any of that dirt that might be coming up. I've seen some other conservationists do this. I'm not crazy with it. I'm being very light. All right. I'm not going to chance it over here in this area. And now I'm going to let this sit for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll remove it. Alright, so we did 2 washings, and now it's time to look at our cover. Alright, we still got the main rust stains, but it looks like we've cleared up quite a bit of the darker rust stains, which I expected. Hello, Jack. These red rust stains just hardly ever come out, but the darker rust usually have pretty good luck with. Definitely looks like we've reduced this quite a bit. I just do not want to, directly put any Evaporust on here. I mean, we've reduced it quite a bit. I think we may do one more wash. I doubt we would reduce it anymore. What we can try, though, is a blue LED treatment. Why don't we go through that for a couple of hours? But otherwise, still, I think we've done a great job with it so far. Yeah, no ink loss. I'm not worried about these little pencil marks or anything. It's a lot cleaner. Nice, smooth. Feels amazing. And like I said, I think we've reduced quite a bit. What we can do... Alright. So I don't really expect the eraser to help out any with the rust stains. But I just wanted to look and see, that there's still some cleaning that we can do. Yeah, still quite a bit coming up. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to hit all these white areas with our eraser. I'm going to try the blue LED. I doubt we're going to have much of an effect, but never hurts to try. So I do think we've answered our 2 questions. One, should you be worried about dealing with Golden Age books? And, the answer is yes. But if you take your time, practice, practice, practice. Don't jump into the deep end your first go around. Start with something small, work your way up, feel comfortable. And as long as you take your time and you really have your method and technique down. Now, like I said earlier, I don't expect you to follow my technique, 100% and maybe get the same results. If you watch Paul, Larry, Jerry, myself, Peter, we all do things slightly different. And it's what works for us and what we're comfortable with, but our end results are always the same. So it's really important for you to find what works for you and use everything that we do as a starting point, as a guideline. Just get in there yourself and don't be afraid. Just, try to have some fun, breathe. And, just, it's only funny books. So, and then second is, can we fix rust stains? Well, we knew it wasn't going to 100%. However, I think we've clearly shown here that just a really good calcium hydroxide bath can definitely reduce a lot of what we see. And we're going to try some blue LED and we'll be checking back. All right, Conch fam. So I just finished 3 blue LED treatments using Captain Larry's method, which is about an hour blue LED, an hour rest, hour blue LED, hour rest, then hour blue LED. I didn't think I would see a lot of change, and I didn't. Maybe overall we're getting a bit brighter, but I don't think we saw a lot of change with this stain here. And I think this is probably about as far as we're going to be able to take it. We can definitely now see the hole that was caused by the rust eating through the paper. There's actually a slit here. I did do a little bit of a clean, but you always kind of end up with this really dirty spine. And I won't say really dirty, but, and we still got a hint of this tide line from the whatever spilled on it. I'd hope that would come out a little bit better, but we're going to do one more final wash, probably pretty quick wash, and then we'll start working on the interior pages. So yeah, stay tuned. Hey Conch fam, so I was about to do the final wash on this and then do the, hello Jack, and then do the tear seals. Well, not tear seals, but do the reinforcement around the staples and such where the rust had eaten away. And I wasn't going to do any other seals or anything, but what I like to do is my little LED table here will actually reveal things to me. Notice here I've got a thin spot. It's on the front side of the cover. There is a little bitty tear here that I didn't notice before. Also, as I go up, I knew I was going to reinforce this area, so now we can see a little bit better how that rust had eaten away. But I also have this little thin spot on the spine here. Now eventually that's going to give away. A little bit of thin area here, a thin area here, a thin area here, and then I wasn't planning on doing anything up here, but it looks like it might not hurt to do a little bit of reinforcement. You can also see, hopefully, how that rust, exactly where the staple had laid, has eaten away literally an area here where the staple had been. Anyway, no better way to say that. But you can also see how it's migrated out. And Jack, hey, no biting. How it's migrated out. So I love this little table. Captain Larry turned me on to it. You can go to his affiliate link. I believe he has it listed there. It's like $80. I had some Amazon points and got it free. Also, you can see how the cover is miscut because I have it aligned here at the bottom. So if you notice, I've got this edge pretty much with the lines, this edge with the lines, and see how the cover is wider at the top than at the bottom. You can see all the white down here of the table, and then it moves in. You can also see that it moves up, that the cover is larger here. And then from the bottom, you can see how the cover moves up. So pretty interesting to be able to kind of lay it here and see how miscut these come, you know, from the factory back then. You know, we're not doing anything with that S. And again, you can see that thin spot where I've lost it, where a piece of the cover has been lost. So we'll do a little bit of reinforcement there. And again, that's something I hadn't planned on doing, but now looking at the light table, and we can see some of the thin spots here. So it wouldn't hurt to run a little bit of Tengujo up through there. And then I knew I was going to mend this, but you can see the line that comes down a thin spot. You actually see some light showing through there. Looks like a little thin spot there, and even here that I hadn't noticed. So, you know, probably wouldn't hurt just to do a whole spine reinforcement. I mean, conservation is conservation. You're not going to get marked off, you know, depending on the amount that you do. So if you're going to do it right. All right, so let's get finished.